Sam was 10 years old and loved cats. A few years ago, unfortunately, the only cat he had was ran over by a car on the road outside his house. He was heartbroken as he had no friends and felt like the only one who understood him was his cat. He spent days and nights in bed upset about his cat getting killed. One day he was walking in the woods when he came across a woman dressed like a witch, standing in front of a cauldron. He wondered why she was dressed like a witch when it wasn't even Halloween for another few months. Then he got a start wondering, was she actually really a witch? Especially when she had a cauldron in front of her. He made up his mind. Of course she had to be a real witch. The witch said to him, "Now there, dear boy, there seems to be something troubling you. What is it, may I ask?" The boy frowned, then said, "It's my cat. My poor cat Snowy. He got ran over by a car outside my house." The witch smiled, and this troubled Sam. Why would she smile after he just told her his poor cat got ran over by a car? Then she said, "My dear boy, it is very sad news indeed that your cat got killed, but I have some good news for you. I have a very special cat that does all sorts of tricks. This cat can perform better tricks than any other cat you might see in any circus, and the best news is, my dear boy, that you can have my cat and give him the name you choose, but you can only have him under one condition, and one condition only, and that is, do not ever, and I mean never, ever make money from him. Do not ever take any money for anything you do with that cat. Don't accept any offer from anyone. If you abide by that rule, the cat is all yours, but if you don't, well, just put it this way, my dear boy. I warned you." The boy was scared of the witch and just stared at her with fear for what felt like an hour, but was only minutes. Then he finally said, "I would really love to have your cat, lady. I promise I won't ever take any money from anyone for anything to do with your cat." The witch smiled and said, "Well then, my dear boy, the cat is all yours." Suddenly a black cat came out from behind the cauldron and walked up to Sam. Sam was so happy to have a cat again and wondered what tricks he did exactly. As the months went on, he found out more and more. Word got around town of the cat having amazing skills in so many different areas. It was known to be able to jump at unexplainable heights and so much more. Videos of the cat started going viral, but Sam stuck to his word and didn't earn any money from his cat. He turned down countless offers. One man in particular was a multi-millionaire with a huge empire made up of cat clothes, food, events, and so much more around cats. The man was called Harry Dean. He made the boy an offer of $5 million for his cat. Sam declined. On the day the man gave the cat his most expensive cat food, that cats absolutely adored the world over, but the cat wouldn't touch it. He practically turned his nose up to it. He went up to the boy instead and started eating his cheapest cat food he could afford from the local mall. Sam's parents couldn't understand why Sam believed the crazy old woman in the woods, pretending to be a witch. They kept trying to get him to make money from the cat. They could see the fortune they were turning down over some stupid idea of a woman thinking she was a witch. One day Sam's parents tricked him into making money from the cat. They promised him when he was going on the news talking about him, they wouldn't be paid anything. But of course, they were paid a fine sum. They would give him some extra pocket money to lessen any guilt they might have. They wouldn't tell him where the money came from, of course. Sam was on the news talking about his cat. "Hi, my name is Sam, and I had a very nice cat a few years ago, and his name was Snowy. Snowy was a very curious cat and used to always wander out onto the road. That is what killed him in the end. A car ran him over and they didn't even stop to say sorry. He was just lying there on the road dead. I was upset for weeks and weeks. Then one day I was walking in the woods and I met a lady. She was dressed as a witch. First I thought she wasn't a witch because it isn't every day you see a witch. But I know now that it was definitely a real witch, because how else would my cat Miley know how to do all these wonderful, amazing tricks? My mum and dad tell me I'm silly for believing that woman was a witch, but I know what I saw, and I know that woman was a witch. The next day Sam was delighted to have gotten extra pocket money. He was playing with his cat Miley. His mom walked in the room and screamed when she saw the cat's eyes on the floor. She wondered why Sam hadn't screamed, until she knew the reason when she got closer. The cat's eyes were intact. It was Sam's eyes were scrawled out of his sockets from the witch's cat. We have very tragic breaking news today that 10-year-old Sam Wilson was tragically murdered last night. It is believed that his parents are in custody and are about to be charged with the murder of the boy. The boy was just sitting on the chair over there speaking to me yesterday about how his parents wouldn't believe him about his story of getting a cat from a witch. The boy was convinced that he did have a witch's cat, and this story is unfolding as we speak, so we will keep you updated with information as soon as we get it. Our thoughts and prayers are with the young boy who has tragically lost his life to such a brutal and senseless act of violence. For watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. Matthew was out at a meeting for work, which his wife expected to have gone on for a few hours more, but the meeting ended a few hours early, which afforded Matthew to drive home a few hours earlier. Matthew knew that his wife Susan was a bit distant lately, and he expected she was cheating, but what he would see when he got home made him feel so angry he felt like going into the bedroom and killing his wife and lover. But he knew he had to wait for the right time. He felt his blood boil when he saw his wife in bed with another man. Matthew set up hidden cameras around his house and used to monitor them from his office at work. The cameras only went on when there was movement, to avoid him from having to trawl through tons of footage. One night he saw his wife and lover talking in the bedroom, and they were organising to drive out to a really beautiful spot he knew. When he heard the conversation, all of a sudden the spot he knew brought a whole new beautiful meaning to him, because he knew exactly what he would do. The next night Susan was driving in her car with her lover. She smiled, saying to him, "This is such a beautiful spot. I used to come here with my husband. The view is so beautiful. It's just down the road." Jack, her lover, said, "If it's just down the road, why don't we just walk? She smiled back and said, "Because I always use the car to get here, because you can have a lot of fun in the car, if you know what I mean." With that, Susan got an awful fright, as she realised she could not slow the car down. Herself and Jack screamed as the car went faster and faster towards the edge of the cliff. Matthew was driving behind, smiling to himself as he saw the car drive right off the cliff. He parked the car and smiled. Susan said to Jack, "Jump out of the car. Jump, quick now." They both jumped before the car went off the cliff. Susan walked up behind her husband, who wanted to have killed her, and was smiling, thinking he did kill her. And she hit him with a rock, knocking him off the edge of the cliff to his death. Susan knew that she had to put on an act of the grieving wife. Poor Susan, her husband, drove off a cliff in an awful tragic accident and perished to his death. All the while Susan thought about this and the act of the grieving wife, she smiled, and then she hugged and kissed her lover. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. Tracy was 8 years old and had a habit of burying things in the garden. Her mom didn't really mind, as she used to remember when she was her age. She used to think she could dig to Australia, since it was cold down under. One night it was a doll she buried. The next night it was a teddy bear she buried. And it really upset her mom one night when it was a stray cat she was burying. Jackie, her mom, screamed when she saw the dead stray cat and asked Tracy where did she get it. Tracy said the devil told her to bury it. Jackie was very concerned and knew that Tracy had to be seen by a therapist. Jackie tried to find out, did Tracy find the cat or actually kill it herself? Tracy went through months and months of therapy, and thankfully she didn't bury anything else until one night. Jackie saw Tracy dig a hole, and she was amazed at how big the hole was. She said to Tracy, "Sweetie, you know you're not meant to bury anything anymore," Tracy said. "I know, Mother, but this is the very last thing I will ever bury." Jackie asked her what it was. Tracy pulled out a gun and said, "You, Mother." Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. I was new in town and had just found a new job in the local diner. I didn't mind the late hours, and plus it was extra money for me to buy the latest computer games and style I wanted to buy. I loved shopping, so as I worked in the diner, I just felt happy about getting my wage pack on Friday. I hopped on the bus to get my bus ride home, and as I got into the bus, I spotted a creepy looking guy sitting in the back. It was late and I was on my own, but at least the driver was on the bus with me, and this creepy man also. It wasn't just me and him. I felt weird still. I felt like the guy's eyes were piercing through me, even though I couldn't see him. I just tried to relax and enjoy the bus ride home as much as I could in this strange situation. I then told myself, wait, I'm just on a bus with a weird-looking guy who is probably harmless. Nothing has happened. I looked behind and felt a shiver run through me, as I could have sworn he moved up a seat closer to me. I couldn't be sure, but when I turned around again, I knew for certain, as he was right behind me, sitting in the seat, smiling with such a sinister smile. I turned around and ignored him and didn't look back. When I got home, I could see my dad's paper resting on the sofa, and I got such a fright when I saw the same creepy man's face staring up at me, and reading the headline it said, "The man had been killed by a bus on the exact same bus route I took." I had then realised the man who was on the bus with me was a ghost. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content.